Hey Monsties! Welcome back to Baymon Diary, your go-to channel for all things Baby Monster. When the final stage lights dimmed, when the thunder's beats fell silent, and when the roaring cheers of thousands of Monsties faded into the night, something far greater than a concert remained. A bond. A promise. And that promise came in the simplest form. A sheet of white paper filled with trembling, heartfelt failed writing. It was a love letter from Rora, the young star of BABYMONSTER, marking both a sweet and electrifying end to their very first world tour. This letter was not just words. It was a surge of emotion. It was a cry of gratitude. It was a warm embrace that no hand could reach, but one that pierced directly into the hearts of every fan. BABYMONSTER, the rookie group now hailed as a global phenomenon, has just wrapped up their first world tour. From Seoul to cities across continents, every stop became proof of a new generation rising in Kpop. And at the center of this glittering journey stood Rora, young, radiant, and pure, choosing to close this monumental chapter in the most humble yet powerful way, with a handwritten letter. In her note, Rora confessed that this day marked the final show of their first world tour. She expressed how endlessly joyful it was to meet MONSTIEZ around the world, and how every moment felt bittersweet, because every goodbye carried its own sting. Yet sadness was not her message. Instead, it was fire, hope, anticipation. "We're even more excited for the next tour," she wrote. A simple sentence, yet one that ignited a blaze in the hearts of fans. This was not the end, but the beginning of something even greater. Every line Rora wrote was neat, but the weight of her emotions seeped through. She thanked MONSTIEZ for standing by their side, acknowledging the hardships of the journey, but also the beauty that bloomed because of her fans' unwavering support. "Thank you for always being by our side. We love you so much, MONSTIEZ," she wrote in English. Simple, direct, yet piercing. No excessive metaphors, no elaborate phrasing, and that was the magic, because sincerity needs no decoration. A first world tour is the dream of every idol, but behind the blinding lights, there are sleepless nights, aching bodies, and unseen tears. Rora admitted openly that this final moment carried mixed emotions, happiness laced with heaviness. Happiness because a dream that once seemed distant had blossomed into reality. Heaviness because every farewell to MONSTIEZ in every city left an ache too deep to erase. Yet, above all, she highlighted one golden thread: gratitude. Over and over, Rora's words echoed with thankfulness. Without MONSTIEZ, she reminded, none of this would have ever been possible. This letter became more than paper. It became a symbol of the invisible string tying BABYMONSTER and MONSTIEZ together. For outsiders, it may appear as just a note, but to fans, it was treasure. Proof that they were not merely spectators of a concert, but companions in a shared journey. Rora did not write as a distant star perched on a pedestal. She wrote as a friend, a younger sister, a human being pouring her soul onto the page. Perhaps that intimacy is why the letter resonated so deeply. It felt personal, as if every word was directed to each fan individually. At the end of her letter, Rora left behind a promise. Not hollow words, but a vow forged in experience. She promised they would return, that they would meet MONSTIEZ again in future tours. This was not empty comfort. It was a glimpse of BABYMONSTER's grand ambitions still unfolding. The first world tour was only the prologue. Ahead lies a long road, and their light has only just begun to shine. What made this letter even more extraordinary was how it echoed across the globe. Fans from countless countries shared photos and translations online. Tears, laughter, and awe filled social media timelines. Despite differences in language, every MONSTIEZ understood the same truth. Rora's love was pure, and it transcended all borders. In an age dominated by fleeting digital posts, a handwritten letter felt like a relic. But precisely because of its rarity, its impact multiplied. It became warmth in a cold world, proof that handwritten words can pierce deeper than 1,000 viral tweets. That night, as Baby Monster's first world tour officially closed, an emptiness may have hovered in the air. Yet Rora's letter shone as a small torch refusing to die out. It reminded everyone that every ending is merely a doorway to a new beginning. For MONSTIEZ, this letter is an eternal keepsake. For Baby Monster, it is a milestone etched in history. And for Rora herself, it is living proof that her heart can reach millions. The first world tour may have ended, but the love inscribed in that letter will continue to echo endlessly. Because in the end, music is not only about stages and songs. Music is about hearts. And on that night, through a humble letter, Rora proved that her heart will forever beat alongside MONSTIEZ. Rora's handwritten letter was more than a farewell. It was a manifesto of love, gratitude, and a promise for tomorrow. A reminder that no matter how tough the road becomes, as long as MONSTIEZ are there, Baby Monster will keep moving forward. Bigger, stronger, brighter.